Hello and welcome to another episode of the Husky Vitabu. This is Ariel Duran, your Husky Vitabu, once again. And I'm here, as I promised, to do another one for your entertainment and for your joy. Because I know you can't get enough of me. If only I believed that. Anyway, I've actually organized myself this week, noticing that I just go off the deep end and talk, babble for incoherent amount of moments. I've decided to set some rules for the road and like guidance to let me know where I should go. So I actually have some bullet points. Yay for organization. Things that I do not apply in my real life. I'm very disorganized. But for work related stuff, and this is kind of considered work because I'm putting an effort and I'm putting something out there for everyone to listen. And once again, thank you to all 5 of you who have been listening so far. Episode 2, thank you for listening to that one. And let's keep that ball rolling. We will be recording and hopefully releasing these on Saturdays now, due to the fact that due to the issue I'm going to talk about now. Like I said, the episode before, I am working again, and I am working from home. And this was my first week working from home. Now, the process, which I will not get into, it's pretty much the same. It is the same as it was before when I went to the office. But the experience of working from home, for the few of you, those few lucky of you, those of you who are lucky enough to have that luxury to work from home, and were working in the office before, maybe you've noticed some differences in how to operate your work. In my case, the only difference is that although I do have my own little husky man cave here, I cannot fit in the work issues or the work equipment into my husky man cave because there's no space, because this husky man cave is quite petite, small. So I had to put it somewhere else in the house so I can do the job. I do not have the most comfortable chairs, and that was an issue all week. My back and my ass were sending me receipts that yours truly could not pay. So that was the only complaint I can have about working from home. Then everything else was fine. So here is me having my first world issues in a third world country. So, there, I bored you enough with the greatest intro in the world. Let's get into more heavy stuff. If you are a wrestling fan, yes, all of you who are listening are wrestling fans, I would imagine. If not, you could care to drop some monkey piss, as The Rock would say. But something eventful happened this week. Well, kind of 2 things happened. This week, the WWE, mainly, which is the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, they decided to let go a bunch of people, both in the corporate offices, behind the scenes, and also on the scene, or people on camera. As a result, a bunch of people got let go. I will not go into the names because I think by this time, if you're a wrestling fan, you already know who they are. A lot of people who have been there for years. I can mention a few. Zack Ryder, Rusev, Heath Slater, a bunch of other guys that have been there for years and were just unceremoniously let go. It sucks because in the current climate, with Corona, seeing that it has taken its toll on the world now, more specifically United States, as is now the most highest casualties in the entire world, the country, the most highest casualties in the world. Sorry. Um, Work is very scarce over there. Well, where isn't? And to be let go. Oh, also, sorry. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, original members of the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I have to show my smart credentials in order to be accepted by the IWC, which is the Internet Wrestling Community. There. All these guys and a whole bunch of others, like, for example, Fit Finlay, an old school wrestler, now trainer. What was it? Devon Dudley, Mike Rotunda, who you kids when you were small and watching wrestling, you might remember him as Mr. IRS. He used to tag with the $1 Million Man back in the golden age of WWE, then known as WWF. A bunch of other people more. Like I said, I would rather not go through the list because it's quite a long one. So my feelings on that, well, it couldn't happen in a worse time. I don't think it's the best decision, but then again, I don't handle that business. I don't know. I wouldn't have the foggiest idea what to do in that type of situation, but my heart goes out to them, and I really feel bad about all those people losing their jobs. I wish that it hadn't happened that way. I wish that they stayed employed now more than ever, because I just feel it pisses me off a bit, though, because if you've been aware of the WWE or wrestling things in the world of wrestling, sorry, it's early in the morning. I haven't had coffee, and I've kind of just woke up. So if I seem a little incoherent, that would be the reason. Anyway, if you've been following wrestling for a while, you know that a new promotion started up last year called AEW, and has picked up gangbusters and has been doing excellent numbers, ratings on their now broadcasting channel, which is in TNT, and they are more or less the competition for WWE in the United States. And WWE has been hoarding talent from different promotions and not letting them go for years, just so that nobody else can have those toys. They won't use them. They didn't use them for the longest time. They didn't use them, and they rather keep them at home doing nothing, paying them doing nothing, than to release them and let those wrestlers do what they love. Because these wrestlers, believe it or not, they do love performing. They do love doing their thing in front of an audience. It is why they trained. It is why they put their bodies on the line, and they were getting paid handsomely just to stay at home and do nothing. Now, some of you would be like, what's the problem with that? That sounds awesome. The problem with that is that if you have a profession that you choose, because believe me, being a wrestler is not something that you inherently love, and it's not like everybody wants to be a wrestler. There's a bunch of injuries and whatnots that could happen to you that will prevent you from living a very normal life or no life at all. As you might imagine, if you've been aware of that, wrestling is pretty much the most hazardous income way of making a living, because like 60% of the people that do that die before the age of 50. Of course, that's back in the day when everybody was roared out of the guilds and doing all kinds of ill shit. But nonetheless, wrestlers were harming themselves in ways that normal people wouldn't even consider. So, wrestling is not for the faint of heart, although it is scripted, but I would never use the term fake. I could say a lot of other things are fake, but the bumps, the risks that those guys and girls take is not fake. and I respect the hell out of what they do, is basically doing a live stunt performance in front of audiences. Well, before Corona, now they do it live in a performance center in Orlando, Florida. Anyway, the point is, I don't like the fact that that WWE hoarded talent. More specifically, Vince McMahon hoarded talent, not letting them go somewhere else to perform their craft, just so because he could, and now because Corona hit, he's like, oh shit, how am I gonna pay all these people? Okay, well, let me let them go now when shit is hit the fan. So I don't approve of what Vince McMahon did. So my heart goes out to all those wrestlers, sincerely, and I hope that they get some sort. Well, some of them are already bouncing off. Some of them are already starting podcasts, selling merch. If you are a wrestling fan, or even if you're not, I would recommend to go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Go find all those wrestlers. I guess most of them are already going by their real, actual names. For example, you will not find Zack Ryder. He's one of the ones that got released. He is under his name, Matt Cardona. Sorry. I apologize. A bunch of guys that were in WWE, Heath Slater, all those guys, they have their stores and they're selling their merch. Please go there and support them in the ways that you can. If you can't, well, you can't. But my heart goes out to them, and let's see if we can do something about it and help these guys get out there. So the ones that have podcasts, subscribe to them, download it. That's the way we can help. Go follow whatever merchandise that they're selling in their podcast as well. Follow their sponsors, and I don't know. That's one way that us, the people, the public, the fans, can help those guys. Because unfortunately, we don't have Vince McMahon money, which apparently he has $500 million in cash, and petty cash just saved there in case of a rainy day, and he didn't even bother to use it. Anyway, I digress. I will let that issue go. Let's talk about other things. Still related to WWE. This week, on the same day, by the way, we lost two people in my childhood that represent a specific time frame from my childhood. Howard Finkel, the Fink. He was the WWF and then WWE ring announcer. He was there for the entire run of the 80s and 90s. Then he faded away a little bit, and then we got our Lillian Garcias and Sam Roberts. Sam Roberts, I guess. Okay. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, if you're a wrestling fan, you know who Howard Finkel is. He was a ring announcer, and new WWE. All that stuff, that. He passed away sadly this week. And the other passing on the same day, by the way, is Brian Dennehy, who I only remember him as the bad guy in the first Rambo movie. He did a bunch of other stuff, a billion other stuff, but I only remember him for that role because he was damn good at it. And, well, Mr. Dennehy was not a spring chicken. And that's not to diminish his death, but still a tragic loss. Especially my heart aches more for Howard Finkel because his health was declining a lot. In the end, the wrestlers, both the recently released and all the ones that are still gainfully employed, did a lot of beautiful tributes for him. And a lot of beautiful memories that I saw during the week on social media from the wrestlers for the memory of Howard Finkel. So, the Fink and Mr. Dennehy, wherever you guys are, my heart goes out to you guys. My condolences to their families. And yeah, tough week for a wrestling fan. Very tough week to be a wrestling fan. See, it seems more organic and less funny now that I'm very organized and actually looking at the bullet points that I set up for myself, right? Little inside baseball here. Anyway, speaking of death, speaking of death, uh, I decided to open up a little bit about my personal issues. Uh, don't worry, no drugs, no alcohol. No, I'm not taking on the behind. No Brokeback Mountain issues. That's harsh. Anyway, no, something that's been aching in my belly. It's a big one, by the way, very huge. Something that's been aching inside of me for a while, and I've never actually said something very publicly, maybe to a select few people that are willing to listen. And I've now like realized that, hey, I have a podcast and I can talk to a microphone and not seeing anybody, but people might be listening to this. I don't know who they are. And if they're already downloading this and they don't know the power of hit the pause button or just simply stop listening altogether, they're going to have to listen to this. And even if they don't give a shit or not, they're going to have to listen to this because I'm already recording this and I'm already saying it. So, hell, why waste money on therapy, especially these days where it's a little difficult to get to a therapist? And why not just spill my guts to unknown, complete strangers regarding some of the most personal shit that I can think of? The subject in question is my spiritual life. If you're not aware, I do believe in God. I do believe in God. Do I know if there is a God? That's a whole different question. Because, see, people, well, oh, do you believe in God? That sounds like an odd question. And my short answer, because it's a very complicated one, it is yes, I do believe in God. Do I know is there a God? No. And quite frankly, nobody else does. We really don't know. We can claim personal experiences, and basically that's where I'm coming from in terms of why I believe in God, my personal experiences, which I will not go into detail because you wouldn't want a 36-hour podcast. And I wouldn't want to record one either. So, and who the hell wants to listen to all that shit? Anyway, it's personal experiences in my case that I can say that the reason why I do believe in God. I have a bunch of personal shit that has happened to me that has put the balance more onto believing than not believing. I'm aware that in this day and age, it is more easy to say that there isn't a God. I mean, powerful scientists in the world like Richard Dawkins, Stephen Hawking, and whatnot have put their 2 cents in the matter and explaining the reasons why they don't believe that there is a God. And there are merited, they have certainly the mental acumen to express their opinions in a very scientific and knowledgeable way. And I respect their opinion. And I can even see in certain point of views why most atheists have this thing against God, which I think is not so much against God per se. It's more towards the religion side. And that's pretty much my issue. I believe in God. I have a very, very, very hard time with religion. That's my issue. So a few years ago, I won't go into the details, I hit a wall spiritually after I saw a bunch of shit that I shouldn't have seen, heard some shit that I shouldn't have heard, both where I was and also seeing where the world was. On the exterior, what I can say, and it's no secret if you have 2 cents of a brain in you, you can realize that specifically in the evangelical side of things, it's basically the ones that are sounding the most, because I won't throw everybody into the mix, because there are some good people who are still doing the job correctly and not trying to get money out of it, which is basically the main issue that pissed me off. Um, I saw the shift going from let's talk about God and the redemptive power of Jesus towards God can make you rich if you only give him more money. And that I started seeing as a no-no. And I started seeing that basically everything around me was just revolving about money, 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 money. And that fucking pissed me off. And I went to a downward spiral. I stopped doing my spiritual exercises. I stopped everything because I felt that what's the point? Because what's the name of the game now? Is just make money. And I believe that I felt what Martin Luther felt way back when he saw that the Catholic Church was selling indulgence to the parishioners for money, that were offering eternal life, that you can do pretty much anything if you just give X amounts of money. And I felt that same way. I'm in no way, shape, or form comparing myself to Martin Luther. I'm just saying that I would understand where he was coming from back then, because they were selling out for money. And for me, the concept of God is above money. It's above all that stuff. It's something more pure. It's something that, I don't think that God actually needs money. I don't think that he's there counting the bills that you can give, and that his favor would be upon you whether you give or not. I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. I believe that you give because you want to give. You want to help people, you can help them. But you do it out of your own free will, not because you're being manipulated to. Okay, well, I think we're talking pretty much straight up forward stuff. And well, after seeing that stuff both on the outside and somewhat where I was congregating, to say the very least, I went to a downward spiral and just I was like pretty close to becoming an atheist. Pretty much. I was very close because the shit that I saw just made my belly ache, and saying these people are all fucking full of shit. They're just scamming people. It's a scam. And I saw it for what it was, a fucking scam. So I lickety split from where I was. I left. That's basically the reason I left. I left because I didn't like what I was seeing internally. I left. And I've never been the same since. But in recent times, I won't say my faith has been restored completely, because I still have a bunch of trust issues. I am congregating currently in a church, but I take like a stand back approach because I do it. The reason I congregate is because I don't have to believe 100% everything that they say. And it's not so much belief. It's like we don't have to agree with the doctrine 100%. I mean, in my personal stuff, you don't want to believe this, fine. Just let me express myself. If you want to believe that Jesus rose from the dead and is your savior and all that stuff, fine. It's the other stuff that I have issues, because what does it hurt to believe, to have some hope in an eternal thing? It doesn't hurt. That's the part that pisses me off from atheism. That uncertain atheists. There's some very respectful atheists that don't give a shit. They're like, okay, dude, fine, whatever. Believe what you want to believe. I don't believe it, but fine, whatever. Go do your thing. As long as you don't hurt anybody, as long as you're not scamming people, fine. Believe whatever you want. And if that makes you being a good human being, cool. Be that. I have no problem with. Those are the atheists that I like. But the ones that are like The ones that are just finding and nitpicking every bullshit that is in religion, rightfully so in some cases. Rightfully so. Bullshit does need to be called out. But the ones that are just like nitpicky and just looking for every little fucking detail to make ridicule and make fun of religion. And again, it does merit it in most of the cases, but not in every case. Those are the ones that are like, I just would like to tell them, like, do you realize that you're being exactly the thing that you're going against? You're using their tactics. You're becoming your enemy. You're just using it under the guise of your point of view. Which, by the way, even if you say don't believe in nothing, that is a belief system. Because if you don't believe in nothing, you're believing in nothing. So you're believing in nothing. So that is a belief system. So every human being on earth believes in something. Even the ones that don't believe in nothing. That's a belief system. That's a philosophy. That's a way. That is something that you've determined. So anyway, I went to the deep end with that. And this is not funny at all. Except that part. So yeah. That's where I am. That's my little rant regarding my spirituality, which is right now, it's like, well, I made my peace with God. And if you want an official statement, I believe in a God and a religiousless God. What I mean by that is that God is not to be subscribed into a man-made religion, because he's above that. Because if he is God, he is above a religion. He's above any human-made crap that tries to regulate and control the concept of God. He is above that, and he don't need you to tell him what to do. So that's the God I believe in. I believe in Jesus, and I actually have some basis to think that way, because that was kind of Jesus's flow. If you read the Gospels, the people who Jesus let it rip the hardest wasn't the sinners, wasn't the prostitutes or the tax collectors, which that would be another subject to talk about in a whole different podcast. The people who he gave shit to was the religious folks. He talks shit about the religious folks. Dyslexia. Oh my God. The religious folks, yes. He hates, well, I wouldn't say the word hate. He just called their bullshit. He was calling like, you guys are fake. You're thinking that you're pleasing God, but you're actually just fulfilling shit that you think that is God, but it's actually you're satisfying your goddamn ego, which is what religion is. And it doesn't matter if you're close to a truth or not. To that point, if you're bashing people, even if you think that you're doing it because of truth, then fuck your truth in the asshole. I'm sorry. I said it. Yeah, I said it. Fuck your truth in the asshole. Because if you're bashing people with your truth, quote unquote, then you're not actually following up with what real religion is, which is helping people. You help them, not bash them in the brain. Oh, they're a bunch of sinners. Guess what, motherfucker? We're all fucking sinners. All of us. There's nobody special in between us. And let's de-religionize the word sin. Sin simply means missing the mark. It's a Greek term. Oh, shit. Bible teaching. Oh, God. It's missing the mark. Yes. I apologize. Whoever is still listening to this, you have more guts than I do. Anyway, we're all sinners. We're all missing the mark. We're all missing, because missing the mark is simply that you want something to have a certain result. You go do that thing, but it doesn't end up being that what you should want it. That is sin. It's simply missing the objective that you wanted. And if we see it that way, well, we're all of us sinners. All of us. Not a single one of us is free from that description. And the purpose, what I believe was Jesus was trying to do, is just like help everybody. Like, there are people that will never correct themselves because because of religion has taught them that they're pieces of shit, that they have no options. And Jesus was like, well, these are the people that need me the most. So fuck you, the group that think that you are hoity-toity, almighty, powerful bitches that rule the whole fucking thing. Fuck you guys. Let me take care of these people that actually are in need. I'll stop there. This concludes the religious portion of the program. Now back to our regular programming. You guys are pretty fucking brave. You're still hanging out. Yes, because I just dropped the divisive bomb on all of you. If you're still listening, thank you very much. Well, what else can we talk about? Yeah, well, the thing that I'm working on, my personal project that I've been working for a little over a year now. It's a graphic novel, which is the adult theme term to use for a comic book. And it's called The Within. I'll try not to give too much about the story, because if I give it out too much, then I'm pretty much just spilling out all the beans on what the story is. I'll just say this. Nothing is what it seems. Things are not what they seem. It's a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole. It's complicated. And I've been working for it for over a year now. It's a very complex story, which I hope I can put in a way that people can digest it and find it entertaining and get something out of it. So there. I hope that explains it. And I'm working on it. I'm hoping that I can finish that by this year. But nothing is set in stone. So yeah, hopefully we will get that done, and I will let you guys know when it's actually available in some way or form, because I don't even have a clue where am I going to publish, if even how I'm going to publish it or print it or have it online. I have no idea. My concentration right now is only on making the comic, the graphic novel, or whatever term you want to use. So that's my concentration right now, which has been a little slower now due to me going back to work. It is a full shift. It's not a part-timing. So the drawing time reduces also because my backache and butt ache, which were mentioned at the beginning of this episode. Anyway, I've also been adding some stuff in my TeePublic t-shirt store, which, yes, I do have one. Oh, by the way, at the end of the day, just to finish the religious rant that I was before, and I apologize that I go back to that. The conclusion on that is God wins, LOL. That only has meaning for me. The thing is that why I say that is because in some way, manner or fashion, I found a way that God, whatever that concept is, whether it's a person, a force, whatever you want to call it, still is it's taking a toll or a control on my life, or I still find it relevant for my life, and therefore, much like John Cena back in the day, that seemed to never eat a loss, God has not taken a loss in my life. And some way, somehow, he found a way to creep into my life even when I didn't want him, and he has returned. Why did I interrupt myself from the TeePublic announcement? Because that's kind of relevant. In my TeePublic store, I have a t-shirt. One of many. designs that I publish under the name Godwins LOL. And I also have I'm promoting, by the way, parentheses here, I'm promoting the new designs that are available in my store, which are right now in special, on a special price. If you go to my TeePublic store, which I will publish or leave the link in the description of the podcast, and also on YouTube. God, I'm jumping myself ahead. We have different designs. We got the official T-shirt of the podcast, the Husky Bible, which with the logo on it on the front, and my lovely, beautiful mug in the back with a creepy ass smile to terrorize your children, your neighbor's children, kids around the world. Have them with nightmares all night long. You will thank me. And we got the Godwins LOL t-shirt. We got the Hoss Club. You know, because we're a Hoss, fat ass bastards. And we got a other bunch of t-shirts. By the way, we have 2 Christian t-shirts available. One is Jesus. Now that's metal t-shirt, which I can only describe as the most metal cover art for a death metal band in Norway, because it has the 3 crosses on top of a mountain that looks like a skull, and the middle cross is just a stream of blood coming over. If you like that sort of thing, well, that's the t-shirt for you. And also we have the Jesus was metal before metal was metal t-shirt with Jesus' mutilated body nailed on the cross. I have a dark sense of humor. Anyway, those designs are available at my TeePublic store. And if you'd like to purchase them, they're available there. I will let you know when there is a special. Right now, there isn't one. They're $20 a pop plus shipping. They ship worldwide. Get them while they're still available. And I hope you support that, because some chinklings of that money get to the hands of your said Husky Bible here. And that money would be most appreciated. There are other designs there. I won't say all of them because that will just take some time. But there you go. Just help out your boy there. I would also like to announce that this podcast is now available on Spotify. Yay! I just confirmed right now that Spotify has the previous episodes available in Spotify, and we are also up on Google Podcasts and in Stitcher, on Stitcher. So we are cross-pollinating and moving forward with more promoting the podcast and going outside of the Castbox box, which I would like to thank Castbox for allowing me to host for being the host of the podcast, to allowing a place for it to be on the interwebs. So thank you, Castbox, for existing. Thank you for allowing me have a place to put up my thoughts and start speaking babble and bullshit to the majority of the people who are listening, all 5 of you. So yeah, I've already submitted the podcast also to Apple Podcasts for those of you who are in the iOS or Mac OS side of things. I haven't forgot about you. It has been submitted, so there. Also, I would like to let you all know that all the previous episodes are in the YouTube channel. Yes, we have a YouTube channel. We don't have video podcasts yet, because you will not like to see this ugly mug, especially with this Jufro that I have right now, because thanks to Corona, we don't have barbershops open, and we are just letting it grow. It is a sight to behold. I will let you know. But if you follow me on social media, you would already know that. Anyway, if you want to see my stuff, if you've been watching me or seeing me, by the way, if you have been seeing me, are you a stalker for seeing me, looking at me? Please stop stalking at me. But if you would like to follow me on social media, I do have my handles, my personal handle and the one for the podcast, which I would gladly appreciate that you follow. My handle on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, is that Ariel Duran. For the podcast, we have an Instagram account at the Husky Badbu, and for Twitter is at the _Husky _Badbu. I don't know who took the previous the other one on Twitter. Whoever you are, shame on you and for letting me having this atrocity of a name on Twitter, which is the reason why we only have 6 followers. Anyway, I think that's it for this podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being there. And I hope that next one is not so much of a downer. This is Ariel Duran. Again, follow us on social media. If you would like to promote yourself, any businesses out there, we are taking all comers. Send your stuff, whatever you want, to thehuskybadaboo@gmail.com. Again, thehuskybadaboo@gmail.com. Also, that would be a nice way for you guys letting us know how you feel. This is Ariel Duran. This has been the Husky Badaboo. See ya around. Or not see you, just listen to me, whatever the hell you want to do. Don't listen to me. Whatever. Bye.